Vaishali ma'am, good evening. You're on mute, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Hope you're doing well, ma'am.
Yeah, all is well.
Good to see you after a long time.
Yeah. Same here.
Madam, we are just 1 minute to go. Vaishali madam.
Dr. Anita will start.
Yeah, Anita madam will start and she will give it to you. You can carry on.
Okay. Sagar, you are giving me the rights to share the slides.
Ma'am, you can share now.
Shall I?
Madam, it is 6
Yes,
o'clock.
ma'am,
Anita madam. Anita madam, you are on mute. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can we start?
Yeah.
Okay. So a very good evening to one and all, and welcome to the concluding sessions of the webinar series organized by the school on completion of 1 year of transformative reforms under NEP 2020. The topic of our today's session is research, innovation, and ranking. And as we are aware, research, apart from in-depth original study on a topic, is also linked to problem solving. And the ability to resolve critical problems depends on new innovations. And it is innovations that allow organizations to stay relevant and play an important role in growth. We are joined by 3 faculty experts, Dr. Narasimha Murthy, Dr. Vaishali Patil, and Professor Bharath Rajan, who will be giving their insights on this topic. Dr. Vaishali Patil will be providing insights on NEP guidelines on research, innovation, and ranking. Professor Bharath will be speaking on the practitioner's viewpoint regarding research and innovations. Dr. Murthy would be highlighting on the way forward for research in school. Over to you, Dr. Vaishali.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. I hope, am I audible and visible to you all?
Yeah, madam. Very clear.
Yeah. Good evening to one and all my dear colleagues, Dr. Murthy, Professor Bharath, and the entire WRC. And, we are presenting a national educational policy with a special focus on the research, innovation, and ranking. For last 1 week, we are discussing the various aspects of a national innovation policy. And ultimately, that is a part of the entire educational ecosystem, like multidisciplinary and holistic education, skill and entrepreneurship development. Again, that is the innovation and incubation, startup, entrepreneurship development, the employability, youth empowerment, sports management. Indian knowledge system, again, is very important to just preserve culture, languages, accreditation. Today, we discussed the ranking also in the NEP session conducted by AICTE. Teachers development, equity and inclusion. Yesterday, we had a very interesting session on the use of technology. And today's focus is research, innovation, and ranking. And research is always at the last of at the end of all these activities. That is very important domain now. All higher educations are realizing the research innovation, and which is directly contributing to the ranking, because I will just share a few insights which are shared by the expert in today's session. And as we all are very curious, because for last 1 year, we are listening this NEP policy, and we all are curious to implement it. Rather than calling it a policy, we can say it's a mission. And we Higher Education Institute and we school is one leading business school need to take this ahead and reset ourselves with the national agenda. As our group director, sir, he is very keen on they implement the national agenda, and we are always ahead of the curve for the Atmanirbhar Bharat, Innovative India, Digital India, Startup India. And we have, at least at we school, our group director, he has given us so many opportunities to get sensitized with these particular thoughts, which are there in the NEP, and we are listening it for last 1 year. Even APJ Abdul Kalam long back, he emphasized on the need of value-based education system, which will not only have the positive impact on the students, society, or all the stakeholders, but it will be on the entire ecosystem for the education. And it will not transform the India into the Atmanirbhar Bharat, innovative, digital, startup, but it will make our country as a prosperous, happy, peaceful, and a developed nation. To set the context, I want to just start with the vision of NEP policy, because this policy proposes a revision and revamping of the entire spectrum of the education system, because it is looking forward to equitable and a vibrant knowledge society. So it is not only talking about giving the education to all, but it is talking about inculcating a deep sense of respect towards our constitutional values. And that is somewhere we are reflecting it in the research ethics, or whenever we are doing some innovation, IPRs, that our constitutional values are called there, and we need to have the deep sense of respect towards our constitutional values. We need to make our students to learn about, or make them aware of their own roles, responsibility towards the society. Their colleges, schools, universities, and the country as a whole. So it is looking forward to make the students more responsible, more committed towards the human rights, towards the global well-being, and impart their personality, and definitely that reflects as a truly global citizen. So these are the few key points which NEP, key principles which NEP has come up. And there are almost 21, but I am just taking 7, 8, which are directly related to the research and innovation. And it focuses on the capability of making the students creative, and we need to groom their critical thinking. And if the students have the critical thinking and the creative power, he or she will definitely be able to make the logical decisions. And the logical decisions are directly related to the innovations. They can move towards the innovation, and to getting into the innovation, the research is the first step. We need to do the research, and then you can just climb up for the innovation. So this policy is looking for, again, another point is equity and inclusion. It ensures that all the students, irrespective of their economical background, their social background, their financial background, their cultural background, each and every student should be given the equal weightage, equal standing, equal opportunity to learn or to survive in the education system. So proper respect for the diversity is also given. They are insisting for the proper respect for the diversity, as well as the local context in the curriculum is to be kept in the mind, because if you look at the various examples, even in one of the sessions, Dr. Deepa Dikshit was sharing in a communication class, he's telling the students, he just convert that particular questionnaire into the local language. At that particular time, we realize the importance of that. If you are born and brought up in Mumbai, and if you are into the rural program and getting into the somewhere rural in the Western Maharashtra or Marathwada, Vidarbha, then you should at least know the psychology and the local context of that particular region. So a local context is again very important, which is, and most of the hackathons we had seen, there are so many problems shared into the Smart India hackathon, even in the NASA hackathon, even in the healthcare hackathon, which we did with the government of Maharashtra. All programs were, all problems were with the local kind of a context. So students should at least empathize that. They should have some kind of a background, at least not practically, but in the classroom, they should know all these things. The local context is again very important. Community participation. encourage and facilitate for the philanthropic, private and community participation. That we are doing it in our GCL, and our in a rural program we have that grassroots initiatives where students are exposed to stay and find out that grassroots kind of pain points. The more stress is upon the use of technology, and we know the importance of the use of the technology, and we always proudly tell others that we school is the only school we tried within 2-3 days of this pandemic situation, and we were completely online. We took the almost the entire syllabus after 16th of March last year. So use of technology is again very important. Understanding the NEP focuses on the conceptual understanding. See, once you understand your conceptual understanding is clear, then you can build on that. So it's nothing like not only the ratta learning kind of a thing, but just understanding the theory and the concept, and it is more focused on the summative assessment and learning the concept. Every student, they look forward towards a holistic development, not only with the subject related to the academics or the knowledge imparted to the students, but overall non-academic the activities and the spheres, the sports, music, dance, culture, everything has to be the part of the students' growth. That the impact we have, that impact cricket, tournament at we school. So most of the time, whenever we are listening, the experts are somewhere in the corner that we are experiencing that, yes, we have this credential at we school. We are experiencing this at a we school, and we have at least initiated few things which they are trying to implement now. So we are ahead of the curve. We have already started this activity. Only thing is just we need to take the speed and grow more. The unique capabilities. Again, this unique capabilities is identifying the student's strength and weaknesses for these students, develop the students according to their interest and the capability. We are running that 3 months accelerator program, and we are just trying to understand the students' interest into the entrepreneurship entrepreneur as a career option, and they're coming with the raw idea. We just provide them the mentor. This is what is again the unique capability example which we are doing it. But if you really want to move fast into the entrepreneurship and the startup and the innovation space, we need to give the more weightage to this particular initiative and take it ahead. But for last 4-5, Sagar can correct me, for 5 years we are doing well for that accelerator program, and we are trying to identify the unique capabilities of the students. Even in the GCL, we are very closely working with the 6 students in a group. We know who is expert in what, who can do the literature review, who can present well, who can collect the data, and so on and so forth. Even that team charter, even the students do that exercise. They identify the strength of their the colleagues, and then they distribute the work. So we are, whenever we look at the key, all principles, almost 20 principles are there. Just I have selected 4 or 5, which is applicable to the innovation and research. So continuous review. This is what is based on the sustained research and regular assessment by the educational expert we need to do. That is what is called as a peer review kind of a thing, or you can have some departmental assessment, process assessment, or some audit kind of a thing, so that will take make the system very robust, and you can just go ahead with that. So this is what is, I want to come back to the focus on the research. And the NEP is suggesting, if you look at the whole as a research initiative for this NEP, is first 3 points are the research intensive university, research intensive, teaching intensive universities, and autonomous degree granting colleges. Then I will talk about the NRF separately, but NEP suggests that the definition, because these all points are defined by NEP, and just I picked all these points from the NEP document, as this is a legal document. We don't have any rights to change it. So this is what is the university means. Any university or the research university means that multidisciplinary institutes of the higher learning that offers undergraduate and a graduate program with high quality of a teaching, research, and community engagement. And we'll now have a spectrum of the institutes that will range those, that place equal emphasis on the teaching and the research. That is called as a research intensive universities. Research intensive universities will have the research at the higher level, teaching at a higher level. They will have the community engagement, and then only they will be able to just pull some pain points of the customers or the society or business, and they can give the services to the all social or a business or the other domains. And those the teaching intensive universities are doing well into the teaching, and they have reasonably or a significant research at their level. So they are good at their first priority is a teaching and the significant research at that level, and that is what is they have defined is as a teaching intensive university. The another thing is the autonomous degree granting colleges, and their focus will be will be referred to the large interdisciplinary institutes of the higher learning and grants the undergraduate degree. Is their primary focus on the undergraduate. So research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities, this policy is looking more towards how to inculcate the sense of research starting from the initial level. So that is why they are looking more towards the university which are very particular and will be oriented towards the research perspective rather than other universities which will be only degree imparting universities or the teaching universities. So NEP want us to think on these domains as you want to be in a research intensive universities, you want to be in a teaching intensive universities, or you want to be into the autonomous degree granting colleges where you'll serve only that conventional kind of a model. So it is up to the schools to identify themselves where just they want to fit in. And when we say research, the last point I just want to focus on that when we say research is in the blood of Indians. Then why do we need to look into our education system after 30 years, 40 years? Because only three revisions has been happened so far in the NEP, and now we just want to look back or looking into the higher education and why this research perspective has playing a very important role nowadays, because we had seen the COVID situation where everyone was struggling for that medical equipments and vaccination, and it took 1 year to just get 8 to 10 months to get the vaccination. And we are not talking about something new. These people, even everyone knows that research is not happening, innovations are not happening. And if we see our Indian, the institutions like Takshila and Nalanda, they were the world-class institute which has the highest standard of multidisciplinary teaching and research at that time. Also, so if we talk about, there are many researchers and scholars, you can name any field, you can think of any sphere starting from mathematics, physics, science, humanities, astronomy and astronauts, social science, medical science. They were the great scholars and great contributors in that particular days, and they had contributed their technical and knowledge to the entire body of the knowledge. So, but why? But now where we do lack, because now we have lot many resources. Even we always talk about our LRC cell. We have so many things into our LRC, so many databases, but still we are not able to utilize that. So the problem is well identified long back, but only thing is now NEP want us to show that this is what is the problem is, and this is what is the roadmap is. Now you higher education should take that particular roadmap and just run your business. So this is what is the intention behind the National Research Foundation. And National Research Foundation is NEP aims to promote this National Research Foundation, and it is a completely new initiative, vertical or a department, you can say. And we have many hopes from that National Research Foundation, where they have a clear cut. I will just explain you what is the primary activities, and this particular cell only that will only focus on the research and the higher education, or the how to give the master's degree, bachelor's degree, and the PhD degree, who can do that. So I will just explain all these 8 points which I have mentioned, and the reference is the NEP policy document. The goal of NRF, that is National Research Foundation, will be enable a culture of research which is to be imbibed to the grassroots level. Not only at the universities, colleges, or the higher education system will be responsible for doing the research, but they want to expose this research initiative or the innovation to the students right from the class 6th level. You must have heard that in today's session that even AICT MIC cell is taking the initiative to spread the awareness about the innovation in the school. Earlier, that is the thought. AICT is our regulatory body. And now, but that innovation cell is now focusing more onto the school level, and they just want to give us the good crop at the higher level. You must have heard that Atal Tinkering Lab, which is the Niti Aayog, is giving almost 10 crores of the funding to establish the Tinkering Lab for the innovation, and most of the innovation or the tinkering labs are there in the existence in almost the highest number in Maharashtra. We have the tinkering labs. So this is what is the responsibility of NIRF, to just inculcate the culture right from the school to the higher education. The very important part is the funding. The funding part is the peer review of the grant proposal of all type across the discipline will be dealt with the NRF. Normally, what used to happen is we are individually, suppose we have almost 12-15 grants at V school name, and what we are doing, just we are looking at their website, we are looking at their tenders, we are looking at their call for papers, call for proposals, and we are applying individually. Now, what this NIRF will do, they will just collate all these ministries at their level, and that will be only one window kind of a thing, where the exchange of the proposals and the grants will happen, so that the duplications they can avoid, because multiple people are doing, applying for the same topic and with the multiple departments and fetching the grant. So NIRF is more focused on dealing the grants, and it will facilitate which are to be required at the academic institute, and that will be provided by the NRF. And it will recognize what are the outstanding research and the researchers are in a progress, and if they need any kind of a support at that particular time, they can just take it at the national level, international level. In fact, it will act, the NRF will act as a listener between the researcher and the relevant branches of the government as well as the industry. So they have the government and the industry, they will collaborate with the researchers, and once you are empaneled with them with your initial credentials, they can give you more resources, and you can have that research focus. So it is very very clear cut link or a divide or a major chain of the links which will be between the researcher at any university, at any college, and the relevant branch of the government as well as the industry. And according to NEP, to energize the research programs, the few points like the master's and the doctoral program will be enhanced, and they will be more towards the multidisciplinary communities. So normally we see the present national education system working in a silos, and it is totally fragmented, and very clear-cut distinctions are there between the economics, social science, and marketing, finance, HR, like that. So everyone is doing their work in a silo. So NEP looking forward for enhancing the research into the multidisciplinary community. So many doctoral and master students will be having the various multidisciplinary areas, and they will focus will be at the interdisciplinary. So no PhDs, no masters, especially on the only HR, only finance, only rural, only retail, or electronics, mathematics, psychology, sociology. So a totally interdisciplinary research will be relevant for doing the research at the state or a national level to just get the degree of a MTech and a PhD. So you can just think of now that universities are saying we'll upload your thesis, we'll upload the plagiarism report, we'll upload your reviewer comments on the website. So this transparency on the online kind of a thing will definitely find out where is the bug, and so let us focus more on that interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary kind of a chain, because that is what is the future is. Again, there are certain guidelines which are provided by NEP that doctoral students will be engaged to provide, the academic support to other graduate students. The doctoral students can do the fellowship at the institute, and they can just use that resource. They can teach to the undergraduate students. So guideline for the doctoral and master's students, especially for the research, is very, very clearly defined in the NEP. And the very important point is to ensure the quality. Even Professor K.K. Agrawal, he is the chairman of NEP, he just mentioned only the accredited institute will be permitted to have the PhD programs, or they can only run the PhD programs at their institute. So accreditation is very, very, very much required to run the PhD programs or any research programs, to just maintain the quality of the program. And they had not mentioned what accreditation, whether it is NBA, NAC, NIRF, ARIA, but that accreditation is very important. Even the NIRF will be responsible, or it will provide the fellowship for the postdoctoral fellows to pursue their higher quality research. So the research programs which NEP looking forward is different from the master program, which will be 2 years program also, and in a if that program is 3 years bachelor programs, then the second year will be totally devoted for the research, dissertation or the research project. For this, there will for this there will be the 4 years bachelor's program also, and when they will be in the last year, again that will be a totally research oriented. And you can just see the design of the 2 years, 3 years, or a 4 years program. And also after that, there can be 1 year master's program. Once you complete the 4 years bachelor, you can have 1 year's master programs, and there will be also provision of the integrated 5 years bachelor's or a master's program, where it can be given a PhD program, given a PhD after the 4 years degree also. So this is what is all about the master's program, doctoral program, the research, research grants, and the multidisciplinary approaches, and research right from the schooling. The last part is very much important, that is the internationalization. And even today, for the research, innovation, and the ranking, everybody was talking about the internationalization. So let us have that, there will be the provision of the collaboration with the QS ranking universities, and that the foreign universities will be will have the provision for the students exchange programs, and with high quality of the students, foreign universities will come and they will settle their campus into the India, and there will be formal MOUs will be signed with the higher education institutes and the reputed foreign universities. So I think my personal opinion is most now the entire focus, even one of the professor, Dr. Raj, he was from the Jindal, and he was telling the credentials of the Jindal University, and still he was saying why we are not in the ranking, or why we are not there in the QS ranking, kind of a thing. But now along with the research innovation, the internationalization is again a domain, or the initiative, or you can say, because we have that international collaborations, that is going to give us the brownie points if we strengthen that in terms of the research project, funded research projects. If we have the fellowship program, then can we recruit the foreigners, the foreign students to do the fellowship at our school? This kind of new opportunities we need to explore much. So this is all about the research agenda in the NEP. I just took all these points from the policy document, and this is what is the mention. This is what they mentioned even in today's panel discussion. The expert mentioned about all these things with their own school examples even, and all the experts were from the IITs and ISROs and the ministries. So they have their own technical problems and their own technical standards, and almost there was 5 to 10%. The experts were from the human social science or the management. So again, we need to just somewhere understand if for the management education or for the business management education, how can we just take the few pointers and apply to us immediately? And most of the key principles we already have. We school have already implemented, and thanks to our group director for his broad vision and giving all of us the opportunity to work for the research and innovation. The next part is very simple, and innovation culture, because that is, I joined 5 years back, but before that, almost 10, 12 years back, we had that innovation cell, and we had the innovation awards right from 2008. That's what I know. And we had a 3D printer. So innovation culture, innovation awareness is already there, but formally for last 5 years, AICTE, MOE has started this innovation as a separate department. And at that time that NEP was in a process, they were just developing that policy. But before that also, this policy, this innovation initiative has come in the picture, and that has started with a small initiative of a competition. Dr. Jere, he is the head of the innovation at AICT, and he used to conduct the competition in Pune with that Pune Municipal Corporation had some problems, and he want the students to solve that. And then he approached Dr. Sahasrabudhe at COEP, and that they solved that Pune Municipal Corporation problem. The engineering student did that, and they that was the successful for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. And now if you look at the entire initiative, it is a Smart India Hackathon, and almost 1 lakh students are participating with industry and all the ministries, social problems, business problems, and it has come up very nicely. One single thought of conducting the competition has come up with a great initiatives, and we personally at V School, we have experienced the Smart India Hackathon very closely. We participated, we organized, we are the prize winner, and we are the best institute. Normally that AICT people, they give the example of Dr. Salunke and saying that see that V School and Dr. Salunke's vision that they are the pioneer, or they look at their practices for conducting the Smart India Hackathon, because the first hackathon inaugurated from the V School. So this is what is about. I will not speak much on the other initiatives. That NISP policy last year, we have already implemented that. Yukti is one initiative. Even we had multiple programs on the Kapila Kalam program for IP literacy and the awareness, which is, we had the poster competition, case study competitions, and we had multiple sessions on that. Institute Innovation Council, we have just finished 3.0, and thanks to each one of you for your involvement and completing that 3.0. We have successfully completed, and for the last 2 years, year 1 and year 2, we got the 4.5 and a 5-star, and hopefully this year 3.0 will. Let us cross the fingers for the 3.0 and ARIA ranking again. We are best in the management education. So these are the few initiatives that Innovation Cell is coming up only in tension with the fostering the innovation culture across all the educational institutes, and now they are slowly doing it compulsory. And earlier it was 900 institute, last year it was 2000 institute, now it is almost 4.5 thousand institutes are participating, right from the engineering. And the entire IIC cell knows that there are multiple groups. We are every day and night in touch with this MOE MIC cell with so many initiatives. So their idea is, to just get the ideas or generate the ideas from the student, give them the pre-incubation, incubation, and just, make them to be entrepreneur or a successful startup. So this is what is about the innovation as, and even everyone knows about the importance of the innovation. But despite we know the critical importance of even the research and the innovation at present, we are looking, or we are moving, or we are putting our effort to develop the innovation at home in our country. But if just again, this data is from the NEP policy only, and if you look at the data, the portion of the GDP which is invested and the innovation is only 0.69, and if we compare it to the percentage of the GDP of the USA is 2.8 and 4.3 in Israel, in such a small country, and 4.2 in South Africa. So you see the difference between the amount of the investment economically our government is putting up into the researcher. And if I talk about the global innovation index, the India's rank is 52, whereas China is far ahead, it's 14. And so that NEP is inspire us to be within 25 in next 5 years. That's why this IP literacy or filing the patents, even the ministry is supporting us for the filing the patent, copyright, and whatnot. So they have come forward. They are giving us the awareness sessions on the YouTube. Anytime you can just go, and the access with the ministry and the officers are just you have simple one message or one call away from them. Only their intention is they want to increase their global innovation index. And this is again the slide to just look at our status of the investment, as I was talking about it. So not only the GDP, but if you see the researchers per lakh population, we can see the comparison of India with USA, China, and even Israel. We have taken it that it is very because Israel is very small country, and if you look at the number of the researcher per lakh population is more than 20 to 30 times our country has. If you see the patent application, again, there are so much of a difference between the growing and the developing countries and the developed countries and between us. So looking at this particular gap, the innovation of the AICT MOE cell is putting the effort. And even today, most of the experts, they were asking about the research infrastructure or the innovation infrastructure. Let us have some combined lab at for example, in IIT Mumbai. Let us call all the Maharashtrian, the Maharashtra region or the Western region people to do their experimentation in the IIT Bombay. So let us have, along with this, the challenges, one should have the research and the innovation infrastructure to boost the innovation index. Okay, I'm taking a little bit more time. I need 7 to 8 minutes more to just get into the few things, and that's why they are preparing the roadmap in this education policy to just where the higher education institute will focus on the research innovation by setting up the startups incubation centers, where the higher education institutes will be expected to have the startup incubation center in the campuses, and the technology development centers. The technology development centers, the HEI will be expected to have the greater industry academic linkages and the interdisciplinary research. as well. As I was talking about earlier, which includes the humanity science and the social science research. Also, because we need to ensure that the innovation and entrepreneurship emerges as the fulcrum of the Indian education system. So, higher education must form on the basis of the knowledge creation and for the innovation, because that is the main key point, which will contribute to the what I would say is growing national economy. So innovation policy will definitely start with, I will skip some slides. Okay, the last one. So this particular map is again derived from the policy, the NEP policy, and the entrepreneurial vision of the HCI, which we could say that NISP. I told you that National Innovation and Startup Policy established in 2009, and we should ensure the maximum students' participation. And I mentioned not looking towards the research or innovation when the student is coming to the college or to the university, but we have to put up grow the seeds from the school itself, and the maximum students should participate in the innovation culture, and we have to make them involved into the research innovation activity, so that they can look forward towards they can look towards the entrepreneurship. So for this we need to link and collaborate with the incubation units, with the external agencies. If you say that we need to develop the incubation centers at the higher educations, they will only work properly, they will only prosper or move into the right direction when they have the proper collaboration with the external agencies, or proper funding or proper guideline. Not only the academic institute like us, but the industries and the international agencies are very much required for the collaboration to just take it ahead, because that internal mentoring, internal collaboration is not helping the students much, because we all did the experimentation of that, but it is not giving us the good mileage. So let us break that wall and collaborate with the incubation, the external incubation units and external agencies. And normally whenever we are talking about the students for the collaboration, they are more conscious about their idea, कि मेरा idea कोई लेके जाएगा. For that IPR cell, the property right will take care. But unless and until you are not exposing, you are not sharing, you are not collaborating, you can't grow much. This is what is the NEP saying. So the keyword which is coming out, if I draw the key word cloud, then the collaboration is the main theme which is coming out of that. And normally an Indian education system that is missing, because IIT have their own say, the IIMs they have their own say. Engineering, if suppose there are one university running the engineering and the management together, but we never seen these two institutes are coming together, and that we are pretty much even we school, all the faculties are very much privileged to have that TradeX lab as a technology lab, and we can at least dream some projects, GCL project with technology interventions, and then we are running that. So this is what is the again unique thing which we have. Not necessary to have the engineering college liability on our head, but one can establish one technical the department or one technical lab which can give some advanced knowledge in the technology or other domains. If somebody is economic, even the public policy kind of a department we can establish and have some intervention. So these small departments are going to help us for the collaboration and making the students and the faculties to learn more. And the internships are again have the very good impact on the students learning, and whenever and that we have, and even we are lucky to be an autonomous institute, so that we have the flexibility for setting up the syllabus and sending our students for the internship, and SIP, SIRP is giving us the good result. Again that is a good connect. We are well connected with that, but only thing is somewhere after doing so much of the reviews, what the NEP is saying, if you start somewhere or if you are reached at the saturation level, then you need to just look back and revisit your policies, revisit your strategies, and take the new strategy ahead to just be a leader into that particular field. Even the NISP policy or that entrepreneurship agenda should be, they are very much focused. Even they have written that the senior person of that institute, like a director, deputy director, or the deans should lead this initiative, because normally they have seen, not at the our level, but they had seen in the other colleges somewhere somebody don't have that workload carrying these all responsibilities of initiative, but this NISP and all the innovation and the research agenda, the AICTE, MOE, they want the senior faculties like professors, deans, directors to do that. I will just wind up this research and innovation. Only one thing, even that NEP policy is focusing on the role of a pedagogy is very important for having that research and innovation culture. So what they're saying, while developing your syllabus, they're insisting for the experiential learning education integrated with the technology and with the social cause, with the human values, all holistic development of the student should be taken care. It should be discovery oriented, inquiry driven, so that it can enhance the cognitive thinking of the students and cognitive capabilities, critical thinking, and that will definitely take the students to at the research and the innovation level. Even the discussions in the classroom should not be the teaching based, student-centric or the learner-centric teaching, and let us have that, the sense of problem solving and attitude of the innovation to be developed in the children right from the starting of his age. So this is what is all about the innovation, and these are the few pointers you can just read out, because it's almost 45 minutes I took. And these are the few pointers today we had experienced or listened in the AICTE panel discussion, and that is available on the YouTube. The ranking again is very important. I don't know much about the QS World ranking, and there are very much limited discussion happened on the university ranking because now that is very clear that they are looking at the global ranking. Nobody has taken the name of a NBA, NAC, ARIA, or NIRF, but everybody was looking at this QS ranking and talking about the international ranking. So NIRF people were saying that the experts were saying, if you fit into the NIRF in the first 100, then only you can dream for the QS ranking. Otherwise, the tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, or the institutes can go for the NBA first, then NAC, and then you go for the NIRF, and then you can take the QS ranking. So initially, even at the IIT Madras, even IIT Delhi, they were just reading out their score, and somewhere that was he was feeling very embarrassed when I got out of 100, 1.2 marks and 1.3 marks in the internationalization or the exchange program kind of a thing. So what this NBA chairman, he insisted, let us target for the NBA, NAC, NIRF first, and then you can just have that kind of a dream to get into the global ranking. So international ranking framework depends on the academic reputation, employer reputation, citation in the faculty's publication. I think that is very important. Faculty students ratio and the internationalization that I had discussed. And the global ranking totally, most of the portion of the global ranking is depend on the research and innovation. So these are the major key indicator of the area that we know. This is what is the NIRF, and if you look at the NIRF, you will immediately remember that Deepa Madam,
Vaishali Madam.
Yes, sir.
Don't hurry. You carry on till 6:55. No, seriously. After that, we'll open it for open question answers.
Okay, sir.
Don't hurry up. Go casually. It is going very good.
Okay, thank you, sir. So this is what is about the ARIA, and ARIA is totally, Dr. Garima can give the, you can come in if required. Now their ARIA is only talking about the innovations. But only the budget, expenses, support, revenue generated from the startup, infrastructure facilities or the innovation and the startup, awareness and the promotional activities or idea generation for the innovation, promoting, supporting the entrepreneurship development, IPRs, how many patents, copyrights, trademarks you have generated at the school, your school. Innovative learning methods and the courses. Even we requested ma'am, that let us have at least half a credit course for the IPR and all that stuff, because now they have the clear-cut framework. These are the major indicators, and we want to have these indicators in the system. And once that is there in the syllabus, in the system, definitely that the students will get it. So now they are behind us. This is something a bit bureaucratic, but they are just hoping that definitely if we force the people to get into all these things, that people will do it. And they're getting the results like that, because earlier it was 900 participation in ISC, then 1,000, then 2,000, now it's 4,000, and now all the deemed universities are coming up very aggressively in the innovation because they are free, and most of the universities are the profit-making universities. To they have the incubation center, they have the experience, digital labs and whatnot, and even all the IIMs and IITs, they are getting the fundings from the international bodies, so they have the infrastructure. And this is what is the disruption happening in the higher education ecosystem as far as the innovation is concerned. But research, that is not that visible yet. This NIRF is, again, there are 4 or 5 parameters, and the second is the research and professional practices, where they are only considering the Scopus publications. And they are not asking us the data, they are just pulling the data from the Scopus database, and we are just confirming or reconfirming that. So having the quality publications is because the teaching learning, that if we look at the V-School score for last 2-3 NIRF ranking, we are doing good in the teaching learning, graduation outcome, outreach and inclusivity, and our perception is too good. Only thing is that research and the professional practice, that is the consultancy, we need to focus more on that, and that's where our group directors are, even in the last FDP he mentioned, and now that is very serious kind of a thing for all of us to reflect our name into the NIRF or in the ARIA or in the NBA or a NAC with the 5 stars or the 6 years of the NBA ranking, and then we can go for any international ranking. So this is what is the some sessions, you were a part of it. So we have done all these sessions regarding the IPRs, Atmanirbhar Bharath, and we have that Fab Lab, Makers Lab, and Design Center, and so whatnot, whatever the MOE. No, this is not only for the just tick mark. We are doing the activities. We are, trying to involve the students, all the faculties. There are almost 20-25 innovation ambassadors are trained at V-School, Mumbai, Bangalore. Even this year, Bangalore campus is also a part of IIC. I am in touch with Professor Hema for that. So we are doing so many things, and we can just, and we are getting the result. We are in the 5-star institute, and this I have covered the accelerator program and the hackathons, and the same thing. This is what is our victory is. We got this year our team got, because this is what is the multidisciplinary kind of approach with the healthcare, with the general management and the technology come together. We got the prize. So this is our 5-star in the innovation, but long way to go. And for every year we need to just struggle for all these things. And now initially we had limited idea for the conducting the event and the innovation, what exactly they want, but now after 3 interventions we are at the comfortable position. Only thing is now we are looking at the outcome. We had created the culture, we had set the processes. Now that is very much clear to us what we want to do it. Now it's time to get some output in terms of the startups or some in the entrepreneur is going some faculties taking the initiative to be entrepreneur or that kind of a thing we are looking at. So even our group director, he mentioned in the most of the faculty meetings, look at your class, look at your program, try to find out the students, help them, mentor them, get some financial support from them, but at least minimum per batch. From Wellinger, out of 1,000 or 1,500, 300 students, we should have 10 or 15% of the entrepreneurs getting out of the campus. For that, we can just have some policy at our level regarding the funding, regarding giving the space, or having the collaboration with the external mentors that we can think of. So this is what is our area ranking is, and this year also we had. Maybe that is due in the month of this month. They will open for the 2021 ranking, and we are just waiting for this year. But we ranked in top 5 in a private and self-funded institute, and this is what is our achievement so far. Thank you so much for your patient listening, and it is very serious business, the research and the innovation, and thank you so much. Dr. Murthy?
Yeah, madam. Vaishali, madam.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. It was, seriously, it was a very, what you call, a tightly packed and very relevant, appropriate information. A lot of things that we need to learn from the NEP. I think you have done a very good research on NEP. Very good, madam. Thank you very much. And because of this time, I think myself and Professor Bharath will take the next opportunity where we can probably share our thoughts with the faculty colleagues. And now we are opening up for the questions. Any questions or any suggestions or any inputs for us to how to go ahead. So I'll open it for general the colleagues. Any questions? Vaishali madam, it appears that you have given such a good lecture. Nobody has any doubt at all.
It may be either way, no?
Yeah.
Not understood anything.
Yeah.
Anything anyone want to contribute for whatever is your perception about the NEP research innovation?
Yeah.
And the ranking.
Okay, since no questions are coming up and we still have 3-4 minutes to go, I will continue talking. If anybody has any question, they can stop us in between. See, I was just thinking, now we have done probably whatever is required to have better quality and better quantity research at Wellinger. Now, what is next? Actually, as a natural process, we need to whatever research that we have started producing, both in Bangalore as well as in Mumbai campus. Now, see, as long as our knowledge, what we have created, as long as it doesn't reach the larger society, I don't think it can be of any help. Even if you look at the global ranking where India stands in terms of research or any other institutes, one of the key measures is that how well our research has reached the society. And one critical way of looking at it is, by looking at the citations and how many citations that our faculties are getting. Producing good number of research output and publications is one part of it. Now, how do we actually make it dissipate among a larger society is probably the second most important thing. Because when the citation per faculty keeps increasing, the visibility of V-School and visibility of faculty actually goes on increasing. When we have the citation per faculty increases, our ranking, both the V-School as well as the country will definitely go up. Now, how do we make, that is a post-publication activity that we need to look at from the research center perspective. There are definitely some well-defined and well-researched methods where we can, how can we improve our citations. Probably when we are there next, Professor Bharath, myself and Vaishali, and with your help, we can probably get into those activities where we can do all those things which are required to improve the citation rate of B school faculties. There are some simple methods which we can take it, and probably that will be the next step that we will push hard. Now, I think we believe that a lot of things are in place to give a good quality and quantity research output from Wellington campuses. Now, let us look forward. How do we actually make it more visible in the society? So that should be the next phase, which probably we will start focusing on. Okay, now with that, we have just 2 minutes to go, and if there are any questions, we will take it. If not, I request Dr. Anita to say thank you and close the session.
Professor Bharath, you want to share something?
Yeah.
No, I think everything was covered. I mean, I just don't want to take any more time. But overall, I think it's very hard to overemphasize the importance very clearly through the NEP document and today's session. And it was perfectly captured by Dr. Vaishali and Dr. Murthy. So I think it's just time for us to get down and start working. I mean, that's the only thing that's left to be done. So once we get on with the research work, the innovation and the rankings will are just the outcome measures. So that's pretty much what I have to say. Over to you, Dr. Vaishali.
I think we can conclude. So thank you so much to our faculty experts for sharing their insights, and rightly said, we definitely look at taking our institution forward in terms of research innovation and definitely in terms of ranking. And yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great day. Thank you. And yes, I must also thank our backend and IT team who have been working and ensuring that we have these series going on very smoothly. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. Thank you, all my colleagues.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr.
Bye.
Thank you, Professor Bharath. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, team. Bye.
Thank you, Sagar. Thank you, we at WRC and the Innovation Cell.